English muffins are not baked. They never go in the oven. And most people don't know that. But what's really sad is that most people have never even had a real English muffin. So let's fix that. To start off this recipe, measure out a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons or 139 grams of water and a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons or 139 grams of whole milk. Then warm them together to between 95 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 and 37 degrees Celsius. That temperature range matters. If it's too hot, you'll kill the yeast before it ever gets a chance to work. Once it's in range, stir in 1 tablespoon or 9 grams of instant active dry yeast and set aside for 10 minutes. You're waiting for it to turn foamy and fragrant, which tells you the yeast is alive and active. While that blooms, measure out 4 cups or 480 grams of bread flour, 1 teaspoon or 6 grams of fine sea salt, and 1 tablespoon or 13 grams of granulated white sugar into a medium bowl and whisk them together until evenly combined. Add the yeast mixture along with 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of gently softened unsalted butter or canola oil. If you're using softened butter, keep it gentle. The same rule applies here as it does to the yeast liquid. Mix the dough until it comes together into a shaggy mass. You can use your hands, a wooden spoon, or a dough hook. Then turn it out onto a clean surface and knead for 5 to 10 minutes until smooth and elastic. If you've never kneaded before, the process is straightforward. Fold the dough over itself, press down, turn, and repeat. What you're feeling for is the texture shifting under your hands, from sticky and rough to something noticeably smoother and more cohesive. Then shape the dough into a ball and place it in a lightly greased bowl. Cover it with a damp towel or plastic wrap and let it rise at room temperature for 1 hour or until it's doubled in size. This rise is where the flavor develops in the dough, so give it as much time as it needs. Punch the dough down to release the gas, then turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. Flour the top as well and roll it to about a ½ inch thick. Then use a 3-inch round biscuit cutter to cut your muffins. You should get between 9 to 12 muffins depending on how efficiently you work the scraps. When you finish cutting out the first batch and you still have those scraps left over, just push any leftover pieces together, re-roll, and cut it again. Transfer the rounds to a tray dusted with cornmeal. Flour also works, but cornmeal is more traditional and gives the exterior and texture that's worth having. Cover them and let them proof for 30 minutes to an hour, just until they've visibly puffed. Now, English muffins don't bake in an oven. They cook on a griddle. So you're going to heat a cast iron pan or griddle over medium heat and grease it lightly. Add your rounds to the pan and cook for 5 to 7 minutes per side. If they're taking on too much color too quickly, lower the heat. You want a deep, even crust with enough time for the inside to cook all the way through. Once they're finished cooking, transfer to a wire rack and repeat with the rest. Once you make English muffins at home, the store-bought version won't make much sense to you anymore. Those squished, soggy, and dull muffins you find in a package. If you found this helpful, give it a like and share it with someone who'd appreciate a good homemade bread project. Other than that, I'll see you in the next recipe.